Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of HLB HAMT podcasts. We have two amazing voices in the ESG space joining us, Mr. Vinod Nambiar and Arushi Dhaya. So I'll just give a quick introduction on myself. I'm Jason Clement. I'll be your host for today. And going way back, I have a background in engineering. I've done my undergrad in electronics, moved up and done my master's in renewable energy. So it's a pure engineering background, one which you might not quite often see in the ESG space, but we all bring our learnings, and there's no specific sort of track to get to the whole ESG arena. People come in with their own experiences, with their own set of skills. So yes, I'm bringing the more technical side of things, but we can hear more from our speakers, Mr. Vinod and Arushi, what they bring in to the table. So yes, Mr. Vinod.
Myself, Vinod Nambiar, as Jason mentioned, I started my career in the media. Initially, I was with All India Radio, and I was doing the program called Farm and Home. It's called Vayalum Beedum in Kerala, Malayalam program. And after that, I moved to Kerala Agriculture Department. I was working into the Agriculture Department for almost 3 to 4 years. Came 20 years back in UAE, and I started my career in UAE with in money transfer field. I was working there, and after that 20 years of my job in money exchange, I was taking care of the community outreach, CSR for the global level. And from there, I moved to HLB recently, around 2 years now, and made the ESG space here with the HLB as well. Yeah.
Perfect. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes. Great experience, by the way. You can see that whole circle coming from All India Radio.
Yeah.
Now the more modern form of, media through the whole podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
In between, you have traversed the whole CSR field.
Correct.
You have gone to finance, AML background. Very, very, storied past, I would say. But yes, here's to many more years in the ESG space.
Definitely.
And your inputs as well in this podcast. Yeah, Arushi, over to you.
That's actually a tough one to follow. I should have gone before him. But yeah, so by background, just like most Indians, I'm an engineer. Then I did my MBA. I was at IBM for a bit, did a bunch of work with them, sales, delivery, etc. And yeah, ever since, I've been running my company ever since. It's been about 5.5 years now. And so lots of tech, lots of consulting, and moved to Dubai just about a year and a half ago, right? And it's been amazing. And again, same as my own journey as an entrepreneur has evolved. It looks like even the sustainability space as a field is evolving, right? So every day it's a lot to learn, it's a lot to think about, it's a lot to process. So yeah, and I'm really, really excited to be part of this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arisha. That's great. So you've got 3 very varying backgrounds right here on this episode. You've got engineering, you've got renewables, and then you've got your whole finance and agriculture side of things. And then Arushi brings her tech experience and how data management is going to be really vital in the years to come for ESG. How that adds a whole different sort of a layer of credibility to things. So welcome, guys. We'll get right to it. And really excited to get started. We're going to be moving across themes here. We're going to be sort of moving through the fundamentals of ESG. From there, we're going to go to some myth busting rounds as well.
Oh, nice.
We're going to keep it fun.
Yeah.
We're going to might have some light disagreements. Looking forward to that as well. But yes, so not everyone in our audience might be familiar with ESG. So it's a term that people have heard. It's sort of a hot topic in a boardroom, but beyond the full form of it, environmental social governance, ESG is so much more. It is no longer just something that big corporations have to do.
Yeah.
It is no longer something that only listed companies need to do. There is a whole different side of things, and there is still a lack of awareness as to what is ESG exactly. So for those in our audience who are perhaps not well versed with the topic itself, if we could sort of give them in a very quick elevator pitch kind of a way to ESG, I'll throw it to Arushi first.
Yeah, absolutely. So how how we think about ESG is that ESG is a way to quantify sustainability, right? And especially for corporates, right? Corporates, there are so many ways in which corporates operate and so many stakeholders that they touch and so many even natural resources that they touch. Right? ESG is a way to kind of quantify that over 3 neat buckets of environment, social, and governance, right? Another way that we think about it is that think about it like action and disclosure, right? Today, whenever anyone talks about ESG, they're always thinking ESG reporting, right? But it is so much more than that, right? It's the major heavy lifting has to come from the action part, which is what companies are actually doing on the ground, when it comes to environment, social governance. And of course, the reporting is essential to communicate to the world outside that, hey, this is what I've done, right? So that's how I look at ESG.
Yeah, ESG, I also look into the same way.
Yeah.
But one more thing is like to add, previously we used to all talk about CSR. We heard the name, the terminology CSR, everybody, all the companies, corporates used to do the CSR. And after that, the sustainability word coming in,
Yeah.
then the ESG, the people are all, people know something, but nobody knows exactly what it is. As you mentioned that the people are thinking about it is all about the reporting.
Yeah.
This again, one more thing is there, people are thinking about ES, environment and the climate change, thinking about only that angle. But there are a lot of other elements as well into the social and to the governance part, the ethical business practices, what
Right.
the companies have to do. So all together, it is the E, S and G together. People have to take it very, very seriously, not the environment part only. Again, wherever we see the companies, people started talking about the emissions only,
Yeah.
or the climate change. And after COP28 in UAE, the people have more knowledge now.
Correct.
Yeah, at least the people are started discussing about more into the fundamentals of the ESG. Yeah.
I actually love that you mentioned that, right? You're right. We speak to so many of these services and technology companies who are like, our impact on the environment is negligible, right? So it's not relevant to us, right? And like you rightly said, right? For almost every organization, there is some element that you can touch. You talked about society, right? Employee well-being, supply chain, even on the governance front, data privacy, right? All of these things are extremely essential to all organizations, right? So yes, while environment is extremely, extremely important, it's definitely not the entire picture. There's a lot more to it. So
Again, Jason mentioned that the people are thinking like it is only for the big entities
Oh, yeah.
have to do it. A small entity or SME, I am not involved in this part of the world. It is
Yeah.
completely different portfolio.
Yeah.
Only for the big end companies or the listed companies have to do. It is not like that now anyway.
Exactly.
Because recently the government, UAE government is taken very bold step on to the new federal decree 11, and it is reaching to all the companies, all sort of companies now.
Right.
It is not anymore a talk in the town, talk of the somewhere into the boardrooms. Now it is into the ground realities
Correct.
coming into the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Absolutely. I was actually really impressed with the way both of you have captured everything in 2 minutes, or I would say 3 minutes, which is very difficult to do with ESG because it's such a broad topic. It's a very wide umbrella which covers almost every facet of the organization. So thank you so much.
Actually asked us for an elevator pitch. I realized that,
Yeah.
we just went on. It was a very long elevator ride. Yeah.
Yes, probably. We are in Dubai after all.
Yeah.
So yes.
So, yeah, Burj
Right,
Khalifa,
right.
yeah.
But yeah, if we were to put it in a nutshell, what is ESG? Every organization, irrespective of the sector they're in or the size thereof, they have an impact on very essentially the environment and the society. It could include their own employees.
Yeah.
It could include the clients, the customers they're facing. And this is sort of empowered by its own internal governance. ESG is a way to quantify all of those 3 things together and provide transparent, credible disclosures to every important stakeholder.
Yeah.
Most importantly, to the public. So I think that's a good summation of ESG. But now that we have moved ahead, we'll probably go a little deeper into what is ESG, because it's all about sharing knowledge and bridging that lack of awareness which is there, which is very prevalent in ESG. People love to learn about ESG, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of information going around. So there are decrees coming out, there are laws in place, but it is more of a compliance. Do we need it? If we need it, how do we do it in the easiest and smallest possible way while everything else is taken care of? So I don't think that is the right attitude, and perhaps we can address that in today's session. So I'll get started. We've got a really impressive personnel here like Mr. Vinod. So a question for you, sir. What inspired your transition into the ESG space and by extension the CSR space?
Nice question, Jason. For me, as a person living in this UAE for last 20 years, so I started my career in a financial entity, as I mentioned. But after that, because way back in my childhood itself, I had a passion to help the people. And I have completely into agriculture. We have a lot of paddy field in my home. So I started seeing my life in the initial itself, the people are working inside in the paddy field and their hard work and we are eating nowadays the children are eating the rice, and they don't understand that how it comes, what are the sweat the people are made for, in the soil, the people hard work, and nowadays I am seeing that the kids are throwing away the food and all, but they're not understanding that the people. I used to always think like the parents have to teach them as well that angle, how the each and every grain comes into with a lot of troubles by the farmers have gone through. So I always into a passion towards that angle, and I grown up into the college, and then I reached UAE. From here I'm seeing when I started my career with the financial industry, I see lots of blue collar workers, the so-called laborers. Because the laborers, the terminologies, I don't like to call them as a laborers, because these people are made the beautiful country, right, the UAE, and they are living in the labor camps as a so-called labor camps. But I used to always visit them, and I come to people come to my office to send money transactions and all. I saw there people are sending money to their family only. Nobody is sending money to themselves. So I noticed and asked them, and I started a creative thing like a financial literacy to the kind of people, the working class people. I go to their residential areas and started talking on financial literacy. From there, I saw there are a lot of problems happening among them, and towards the affinity or the passion-driven activity, I wanted to help them. So there are a lot of people told their stories, and I used to take their stories and make them correct guidance. From there, Dubai Chamber has started some initiative for the blue collar workers' welfare. So I started as part of my company. I part of that mission. So taken from there, gone to the CSR into a larger scale like financial literacy, agriculture, know your soil to the children, to the schools, campaigns, agriculture. Because I know the agriculture background I have, so I started implementing all those things here. But ultimately, I know the people's problems and the sorrows I saw most. So that is, as a passionate person, I cannot suffer that. So from there onwards, I started into CSR, completely into my CSR activities. There are a lot of element activities I started along with the Dubai Police Traffic Department. We did a lot of campaigns and community police activities. So there are a lot of CSR initiatives happen. But my attractive thing is the financial literacy. I started giving them the literacy on the financial thing. Yeah. From there, now it is completely evolving the CSR into a new project, because since HLB HAMT, we are working in HLB HAMT right now. So HLB is taking that responsible business into. So thought of making this department as well as a new department into ESG. From there, COP28, attended the COP28, and from there a lot of new terminologies comes in. So passionate into it.
Correct.
Gone through a lot of courses, upgrade myself, and look into ESG space finally.
Absolutely.
I think it is a long...
No,
This was beautiful.
You couldn't make it shorter, even if you wanted to, because there's so much happening over there. And it's such a, I would say, vibrant and realistic story. Like, this is a side of things that we don't usually look at, because it's sort of a denial that we are all living in. We have the privilege to maybe not look at these kind of things, but as someone who is such a champion in the social community circles. I think it's great work. It's God's work that you're doing.
See, one more thing I need to add.
sure.
People are thinking about CSR means only to clean up. And whenever we are listening, something like immediately people used to go to clean up, finished off.
Yeah, it's a beach cleanup
Yeah,
drive.
beach cleanup drive, and
Yes,
it's
yes.
good.
It's
It's
basically a day in
definitely
the
good.
beach.
Yeah, it is definitely good. But more than that, there are a lot of lives here. People are thinking whenever you go to an event, there will be a next person sitting to you, so his face will be dull. We are the people as a human being. We need to ask what happened to him. He might have the problem for the credit card payment issues or have the problem with the back end. So these all elements comes in. We are living in a society, and we are a social being. So it's our commitment to ask the particular person as well why. Never seen that. People are looking into their family, their children, watching their children's program, taking their photos and going away. But we have to have that passion to ask the next person as well. This is all about CSR.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that is what sets true ESG professionals apart.
Yeah.
That passion cannot be faked.
Yeah.
At some level, even the larger organizations, they are looking for people to take up that sort of work from them. And passion is a very big part of it, because you can bring all the required skill set from different backgrounds, all of them under the same roof. You cannot hire passionate people. You can only, actually identify them and hope that someone in the team is probably passionate about it, because they're the ones who drive it. It is not a matter of self-interest. So I think that is something which is
There are
very
a lot
good.
of community organizations working in UAE. It is very,
Correct.
we need to tell that they are very actively working. There are a lot. There are a lot of community organizations working. There are individuals working. But most of the corporates, I'm seeing that, as I mentioned, that limited to some of the activities and sort of. Yeah.
But I feel like that is a starting point for a lot of organizations.
Correct.
Because that is how they encourage the less enthusiastic employees.
Yeah.
Maybe a day on the beach. It's a beach cleanup drive. It's a CSR event. But again, people have their work to finish.
Yeah.
So there's always that constant struggle between your functional departments and the CSR team. Like, you need to do something good, so you can incentivize them with 100 hours of CSR work, 70 hours of CSR work, something like that. So once they start, perhaps they'll be more encouraged to, involve their family members in doing good.
Employee volunteering is an important factor because as we talk about in the ESG, the social element. Social is not only the community outside, it is the internal community as well. As a business, we take care of our employees as well. So employees because that's what HLB started. HLB HAMT has started a project called HLB HAMT Heroes. We given our employees a chance to volunteering. Immediately, there are a lot of hundreds of people came in because people wanted. It's an inherent within them. They want to do some community initiative, but there is no way for there is no guidance for them. That's what. Now we started very aggressively in our HLB HAMT. We do a lot of activities, various activities, blood donation. If anything needed for the Dubai blood donation center, immediately they call us. Immediately, our 5-10 people ready for donating blood at any point in time. Yeah,
that is again very good work. It's all about integrating proper ESG culture into the organization.
Right,
so it's not just your sustainability team which is doing perhaps an activity a month. It is every department, perhaps every function, every user pushes for ESG in their own way. Could be the finance teams somehow driving sustainability through their functions in their offices.
Right, yeah.
Could be the HR tweaking some of their allocation processes or acquisition processes to drive sustainability. So it's not just 1% or 2% team anymore. It is all about getting the whole company to push from an end user place. That comes with a cultural change, I would say.
This is the way the company will stand out.
Exactly.
Then only the company can be called it as a responsible business organization.
Yes, exactly.
So be a responsible. That is the major.
Absolutely.
And even employees are more attracted to today employees want to work with companies that are value driven. That actually, we all have these values of integrity, collaboration, etc. But how do you implement it and show that real proof on ground is through stuff like this. Yeah.
Very good. Again, Thank you so much,
A
Vinod.
long discussion again.
Yes, it's all good stuff. Next question is for Arushi. Again, what does ESG mean for businesses today? And how do you see it transitioning from just a term which is a fancy term to throw around,
Yeah.
an acronym which is overused but underutilized? How do you see ESG functioning in businesses today?
Yeah. Same. I think just I'll pick up from what I was talking about earlier, that same, right? Like lots of companies, lots of people just perceive ESG to be ESG reporting, right? And while that is definitely a very key element of it, right? The much more important element is the initiatives that companies actually take, which is exactly what Mr. Vinod was saying right now, right? That again, you could have a sustainability goal. You could have these values in place, but how do you really take action on that progressively every single year is something that's very important, right? And you rightly said, right, it's a word that's been thrown around very, very easily. Back in 2020-21, we saw lots of companies jumping in on the ESG bandwagon, make very, very strong aggressive commitments, right? And slowly as time passed, some of them have changed their commitments by a bit. I was recently reading the news of PepsiCo doing that, Unilever, right? Lots of these organizations have kind of scaled back on some of their commitments, right? And again, I know it's a very hard, right? For an organization like Unilever, PepsiCo, it's a very, very hard feat to achieve. It's a massive organization with impact across waste, across water, across emissions, people, governance, right? So it's the same. So ESG is a lot more to do with these initiatives and implementing them in a thoughtful manner, having sustainability goals. And again, you don't need to reduce your emissions by 30% year on year. Maybe just do 5%, 6%, 7%. Just do something, but do it in a sustainable way, right? It'll be much easier for you to get approvals from a budget perspective, from a resource perspective, from your management, if you think about it in a more just sustainable fashion as well. Right. And also, right, there's this concept that of materiality that I think that we're very familiar with, but which basically means that if for me as an organization, I don't need to touch over 20 different sustainability initiatives or topics today when I'm at the beginning of my journey. I can just pick out 3 to 4 key elements, right, that directly impact my business, right? If I'm in manufacturing, maybe raw materials, maybe water, maybe waste, maybe my society, the workers, the employees. I can pick whatever is kind of very, very key or material to my business and slowly start building those initiatives as well. And of course, reporting, very important. That's kind of like our report card, right? At the end of the year, this is our report card. This is what we did, right? But the real action kind of happens behind the scenes, right? Same. I think lots of companies focus a lot on creating these gorgeous reports or over optimizing on the reporting activity, right? Which really is not the point. And I think that's why there are I think ESG as a topic, you do find people who are kind of against it as well, right? And I do sometimes see their argument is because of this extensive focus on the communication reporting part, right? And just sometimes limited on the action and initiative part. So
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. You brought up a couple of interesting points there, materiality being one of them, and how ESG is a little overwhelming to SMEs specifically. They feel like this is just too much to take on and it will require time, it will require resources. That sort of hesitation is there in terms of SMEs. It is transitioning to a more proactive front right now, but that is still there somewhere, that it's just too much. But I feel like after having worked for almost half a decade in this field, that the best way to start ESG is by starting somewhere. You need to pick one, like you said. It could be your waste management practice. As part of your business optimization, you had implemented some processes to save costs or to save fuel usage, but that has a sustainability related impact. Why not start there? Why not pick that as your starting point and say that, okay, now this practice is aligned with ESG. What is next?
Yeah.
So you can start picking, start building from scratch. And I think that is majority of what we as consultants do for our clients, is where we guide them through that whole starting from scratch, that apprehension that they have. Where do we start? Where do we go from here? How do we go? So building that roadmap for them, which is viable, which is financially feasible, and at the same time shouldn't disrupt operations. So factoring all of this in, it gets a little tricky sometimes. But at the same time, there is no hard and fast rule that you have to go from A to Z directly. You can just start. And I think that's a great point that you brought up, that finding what is material to your organization and then building from there.
Yeah.
And every year enhancing it just a little bit. So again, report card, I like that a lot. I never look forward to my report cards, but yes, every company needs that level of
Yeah.
transparency.
Definitely.
Yeah.
People at the top might not be involved in granular day-to-day operations.
Correct. Yeah.
For them, it's a visibility that they
Right.
get. Aerial view on entire organization,
Right.
from HR hiring activities to procurement
Yeah.
to exactly how your wastewater is
Yeah.
managed. End-to-end
Right.
visibility. If there are stakeholders outside the country or any part of the world, this is what they look at.
Yeah.
So the whole impact investment terminology, which has been picking up since early 2016 in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So it's reached a stage where ESG investment has reached an all-time high.
Yeah.
2024 alone, you have got upwards of $16 billion just in the form of sustainability bonds. Now that's a massive number.
Oh yeah.
That's a massive number, and that's just UAE. So you can see a lot of banks, the major players, they're all coming up with these green sukuks,
bonds, yeah.
green bonds, carbon-backed loans. So they're incentivizing organizations to function in a more greener way. So that is where the push comes from. So it's the culture which is instilled by the country, the nation, then it flows down the corporations. Banks and financial institutions are a big part of it. So again, globally, the assets under management for ESG related assets are $33 trillion. And
Wow.
that's just for 2025. It's about to increase in 2026. So you see there's a lot of heavy investing which is being done in ESG. There's a lot of geopolitical situations going on around the world which cast doubt on it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of hook phrases and catch lines. Is ESG dead?
Yeah.
Bold letters I had seen. I'm
Yeah.
one of the leading publishers in New York.
Yeah.
So is ESG dead? I mean, it's a 4-year term.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes which
Correct.
happen.
Yeah.
Overnight, there are changes which happen. So, you can't really pronounce it dead.
Yeah.
It started in the 80s and in the Europe. And now, even in countries like India, it is such a strict and stringent rule that you have to disclose for the listed companies. You have to disclose based on the BRSR. UAE, all the listed companies have to mandatorily create an annual sustainability report.
Yeah.
It goes along with the financial, so it's just as important. And I think the way UAE works, it organically grows everything it does. Report.
Now we are seeing that that normally the listed companies are mandated in UAE, but the listed companies are asking their supply chain also to incorporate with their ESG mandates.
Exactly.
Because we are getting a lot of questions from the clients whenever they are approaching any government organizations or the listed companies for the bids and all. They are getting some questionnaire, and these people are coming to us for filling the questions.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it is very happy to see that at least the momentum is in place, and the people are aware, and the companies are looking into the factors. So it's good going now. Anyway. Yeah.
So supply chain sustainability is a whole bit which is growing in importance currently, and it is something every organization does once they are ESG mature. Once they have taken care of everything material to them, they push it out, or they it's a ripple effect. They push it through their suppliers. Their suppliers would then push it through there. So it is a very elegant system which has been formed. So any international reporting standard you pick, supplier assessment is a very big part to it. So therefore, all the listed companies, you've got your semi-government entities out there, they are really pushing for this supply chain sustainability, because they want their suppliers to inherently have this as part of their organization. What happens there is it's a competitiveness.
Correct.
To win those bids, they'll need to
Yeah.
have better, stronger ESG practices. Now, that is where they need support. That is where, because that is something they've not been doing. So it's one of our clients, I'll just digress quickly here. There were two brothers who came from Chennai in the 80s, and they started a factory outside of Hamria. So what they did is they created one particular part, and they created it really well. So that factory was all about creating that one part. So it goes into oil rigs, any oil rigs all over the Middle East. Now, the big names, all the procurement companies, they want that part.
Yeah.
And for the last 20, 25 years, they have been going to these two brothers, and they have not expanded operations. They've been making that same part, but doing it really well.
Yeah.
Now what has happened is the big guys, they want all the suppliers to follow certain ESG practices. Now a company which has been doing nothing but making that same part is also looking for ESG practice alignment and implementation, because that confidence that they had that, okay, they will go with us as long as we are doing the same product.
Yeah.
But now the product by itself is not enough. They need that ESG practice just to fall in line with them, because even at the risk of losing out as suppliers, bigger government entities might just go with a different supplier who has a slightly lesser quality of the product, maybe a 10 to 15% margin, and they have an ESG practice in place. So that sort of dynamic has come into play. So you cannot hide behind the veil of SMEs longer, that, we are not big enough to be doing ESG. There is nothing like that. Even micro SMEs are now part of the fold.
Yeah.
So you've got a very publicly available article on ADNOC's website on their sustainability page, which says that every organization, including MSMEs, micro SMEs, need to have an ESG practice in place, be it a local supplier or international. So you cannot sort of hide behind that shadow that, okay, we are too small to be doing ESG. You need to have some policies in place.
Yeah.
You need to have that overarching sustainability strategy in place, which covers your organization, which says that you have a plan. If you do not have all the practices right now, you at least have a plan to enhance them. So that sort of push from the government is very vital, and that is something we have noticed time and time again in UAE.
And need to appreciate the leadership of UAE, government of UAE as well.
Absolutely.
They are very much into,
Absolutely.
And I like the word you used, Jason. Most of the clients used to ask, where to start. As you mentioned that somewhere we need to start at the, somewhere.
Yeah.
So that is a practice we need to start. Whatever they have in place, they need to start with that particular practice or that particular materiality. As we use the term.
Correct.
So that is very important for any organization. It is not a big task. They can start with somewhere, and you can build from there. And next year you can add more materiality points into it. If it is wastewater this time, next year you can put the energy. It's like that we can come up into the fold. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Actually, I wanted to bring up a question with you.
Yeah.
How do you think it is speeding up the process? Why are we seeing an uptick in inquiries from real estate and hospitality? Those are the two major sectors.
Yeah.
And the whole manufacturing bid, the Make in the Emirates initiative that the government has come with. How are you seeing this sort of bolster the ESG practices going on in UAE?
In UAE, last 2 weeks back, I attended an event in Abu Dhabi, electrical vehicles, it's like an expo in Abu Dhabi ADNOC, where it is literally mind blowing. The complete transportation industry is changing into the new system, like, all into EV, 8-ton vehicles also into EV.
Correct.
So I'm seeing lot of changes into that field, because manufacturing or the industries also, and the hospitality. In the hospitality segment, again, the people are coming to UAE from various countries, and people from the Europe, and the whole globe is coming to UAE.
Absolutely.
So people are looking into very keen how the property is working with, if they are having any practices on sustainability or the ESG practices in place. And this will attract definitely the high-end clienteles. Like, it is not for the small tickets. The bigger people used to come here. They all are looking into the, where the they're studying. Not only industry-wise, the people, all the people are looking into now, keen into the where I am going to stay, and they are looking into how much. See, it is very happy to see that in the flight ticket booking tickets and all, Emirates is having that practice. How much carbon emissions you are making through that.
Correct.
Now from the global level as well, the people are reluctant to start moving into one place, because online online portals are available there too for the meetings and all. No need of physical, go to one place to have the meetings and all.
Absolutely.
So,
correct. Definitely, sir. I think you summed it up very well. How Dubai being the global hub, sort of East meeting West. And not only that, I think this whole southern hemisphere sort of is connected to the rest of the world. You've got your...
Again, one more thing, like most of the companies, the chain of companies and all having the business, the head office in the other countries. So definitely they are also asking the UAE counterparts to come up with ESG practices.
Absolutely.
And prepare the ESG report. So not only from our end, this end, on the other side also push is there.
Correct.
For the manufacturing industries, real estate industries.
Yes.
And people are aware now, and everyone is very fast tracking their processes.
Absolutely, because
That's what we are
so many cultures have
Yeah.
come together. I think that is what helps as well.
Yeah.
So
Justin, if I may, I just wanted to add something very quickly to what he was just saying, right? It was very brilliantly summarized. Another thing that we noticed, right, that today lots of these industries that you were talking about, they see real benefits on their bottom line after implementing the right kind of ESG practices, right? For manufacturing organizations, real estate, hospitality, there are cost savings that actually they do realize, right? Once they start just utilizing water more properly, managing their waste better, emissions, right? Like there's so much that you can do from a renewable energy transition, energy efficiency, etc., which could just directly, even within the first year, you can start seeing cost savings, right? So lots of companies, right, we've actually had conversations with customers across these sectors, and even if we were talking to a CFO who's not a non-believer of sustainability, right? Even they're like, oh, it's a buzzword or whatnot. After we kind of work out the numbers and we show them how it could positively impact their bottom line, they're all yours. They're like, oh yes, okay. It's kind of like two birds, one stone, right? So sustainability and cost implications as well.
Again, to add that in UAE, the government has created some, Masdar city, in fact. Sustainable city in Dubai.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of cities where the buildings and all green buildings and LEED certified buildings. So it is a kind of a lab for them. Like, they need to, it is.
Perfect.
Just,
Exactly. Sort of the, again, global hub, Dubai. Dubai being Dubai offers us that option to sort of meet the expectations from different stakeholders. But we also have the resources in Dubai, to be able to create something like that.
And the ambition, Jason, right? I think Dubai just has a very, if I may, right, like a alpha approach to everything that they do, right? If you kind of drive down Sheikh Zayed Road, right, you can see these hoardings and there'll be like a Guinness World Book of record holder on this and that, right? So same, right? So many times when the leadership does take a call, does make a commitment, for sure that it's going to be followed and how.
Correct.
Right? And these are ambitious, right? These are not easy things to, so it's very impressive, the kind of work that I mean, I hear about the
Absolutely,
field
Kshitij,
as well.
absolutely. So every day there's something new coming out.
Yeah.
It is
In
very
the
leadership.
yeah, absolutely. That I think your point segues us very conveniently into my next question, which is to you. I know for a fact, and personally having worked with you for a while, that you have worked with some of the world's largest oil and gas clients.
Yeah.
You've worked with some heavy hitters in the banking sector. You have manufacturing clients as well. What are the two biggest challenges that you have faced? And what was your approach in circumventing them or solving them?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked too, because then otherwise it would have been a very long list and I would have gone on and on. I think the two key issues that come to mind is, number one, there is a lack of a lack of subject matter experts within the organization, right? And it's not their fault, right? How many sustainability people do you know, right? I know just us, right? Like, so same. There's just very few people out there who understand sustainability entirely. Secondly, it's an ever evolving field, right? I'm sure by during the time we were talking right now, that there's a new framework out there, or some framework has merged with someone else, right? So we see one issue of this lack of knowledge sometimes within organizations, and the second is data challenges. Right. So we ourselves, we call ourselves a sustainability data company, right? But we have a joke that there is no such thing as sustainability data, right? All of this is your operations data, HR data, finance data, on which you perform calculations and convert it into sustainability data. And I think we've talked about this extensively already, right? Companies across all sizes, all shapes, all structures should be looking at ESG. And again, right, you don't need to kind of emulate the biggest bank out there if you're a small fintech company, right? You just pick up the key small material topics that are or the key sustainability elements that you care about, and kind of just go with it. And it's something that you were just saying, right? That companies are already doing enough and more. You just need to structure it in an ESG way, right? Don't do anything new as a start, right?
Correct.
So yeah.
It's all about bring it under one man.
Yes.
Sarah.
Because it was a fact till last year.
Correct.
Because this year, 2025 onwards, it is completely changing the scenarios. Because now everyone is coming into that. Otherwise, till last year, I noticed it. Most of the people are saying that no, it is the cup. It is not our cup of tea. It is ADNOC have to do, or the bigger companies. Anyway, it has to.
Okay.
So
a little bit of a fact.
Yeah.
Recently it's become a myth. But yes, I would say that is. I agree with Ms. Vinod over here. It is a fact in a matter of reality. In fact, that a lot of these issues were for the larger companies, but the narrative has to be changed.
Yeah.
And it is our job to change that narrative. And therefore, now it is open to SMEs.
Yeah.
They need to be able to adopt. So, yeah, absolutely.
That's what you have said. No, companies have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
They have to start somewhere.
Yes. So we'll keep it a rapid fire.
Okay, fine.
For all. There is no hamper for the winner, but yes, we'll go with bragging rights.
Okay.
So, Vinod sir, I'll throw this to you. Doing good always costs money. Myth or fact?
Doing good
always costs money for a company.
It is a myth.
It is a myth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. What is your take on it?
I agree. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can do good without, essentially pumping cash.
Yeah.
I also agree.
You don't need to give a fancy meaning to good, right? I mean, he was talking about a million examples before this, right?
Correct.
Lots
Exactly.
of those things
Absolutely.
are. Yeah.
So what you need is intent.
Yeah.
Positive intent. Perfect. So recycling is the ultimate solution to all waste problems. Arushi, myth or fact?
No. I think it's a myth, right? I think recycle might be the most popular waste management methodology. It's not applicable to all industries, and yeah.
No, see, as for me, 3 R's we used to always say.
Yeah.
My kid also used to say that 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yeah.
So I used to always say to my daughter also, it is to reduce the use. not to completely be pumped into the society and then go for the recycling. I don't believe into it.
Correct, yeah.
So I used to believe in reduce the usage itself. Whenever that's what in our office we started making a lot of changes.
Yeah.
We make the recycled water bottles.
Right. Yeah.
So there are a lot of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I agree with that as well because we've all learned the 3 R's in school. We had environmental studies subject.
Yeah.
I think the 3 R's is very ingrained into every child in every part of the world. They have the 3 R's. But recycling is not the ultimate solution.
Yeah.
The consumerism perhaps should be addressed a little bit. So, all the 3 R's need a lot of importance.
Correct.
Right.
So now it is very, we can see that the change in the UAE hypermarkets and all. When we previously we go, there are a lot of plastic carry bags we used to get it. Now if you go to Carrefour, and I'm not telling any names, but I used to take it, we practice it now, taking the bag, recycled bag along with us to the supermarket, wherever we go. So it's a good change in UAE. Otherwise we need to pay for that, 25 fils for a carry bag. So people...
Correct.
It's a good example.
Absolutely.
Reduce the usage.
It's a tricky question next. It's a little controversial as well. Okay. So, for any organization, do they first need to create a budget for ESG or start ESG and then create a budget?
Should I go first?
Arushi, yes, it goes to you.
I think you can start ESG without a budget. And some examples that we've touched upon is that companies are already doing enough and more. You were talking about the retail chain, right? Organizations are already doing enough and more. It's just about calling it an ESG initiative, right?
Correct.
Like they're doing to manage their waste to reduce costs, manage their fuel to reduce costs, switch to different types of trucks and transportation, etc. There's enough and more already happening, right? Just to structure it is what. Again, if you want to kind of create an entire exhaustive report out of it and communication, etc., you might need a budget for that, right? But initially you do not.
Perfect, sir.
Definitely, I differ from there.
Okay.
There should be a budget because it is from the board of directors have to involve in these activities. Not an HSE manager or the HSE person cannot be discussed all those things to make it. It is a meaningful change what we are making in an organization. ESG is altogether as a change, it's an adapting a new thing to their organization. So it's a long run. Definitely, it will be a give back to them. Like they can save a lot of money in the energy, but initially the board have to give some money, meaningful money to get it done, to change all the normal bulbs to LED. There is an amount needed for that. Again, for making some equipmental changes into, so
the
machinery changes. So need to have some, investment into it. So definitely consultants also need money, right?
Correct. Absolutely. So I'm going to take a diplomatic stance here, and I can see it both ways. So there are companies which can start without a budget, and for the companies we deal with, I would suggest that they keep a budget first.
Definitely, there should be budget. Yeah, without money, we cannot.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on to the next myth or fact: ESG only matters if you're seeking investors.
Should I go first?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth. It's a myth, right? Okay.
Yeah,
it's a myth.
Yeah,
completely myth.
Straight. I think even. Because that's a very common myth. Unfortunately, people say we're not looking for funding, so we don't need it.
Investors are one of the stakeholders that could care for it, right? But there are multiple other benefits.
Exactly.
It should be a practice from the end. It is not for getting into the investor, but that is a byproduct.
Yeah.
If you do this, definitely you will attract the business. It's a marketing tool as well. Companies are using it as a marketing tool. So there are a lot of things happens, but it is a part of the business, but automatically it is not.
How I look at it is ESG is implemented for 3 critical stakeholders, one of which is investors, second is the government, which is a mandate, and third is for customers, for customer
and their employees,
customers
and the employees,
exactly. That employees factors in when they're doing it voluntarily.
Correct.
Company wants to spend money to it. So so these are the 3 critical stakeholders, I would say. Okay, I think we have wrapped up the myth-busting round of it. We went through them quite quickly. But yes, I think Now we can speak a little bit on the whole ESG ecosystem that we have created.
Okay.
How HLB HAMT has sort of elegantly tailored a way for organizations like Oren to fit in and in a way benefit the clients,
Right.
because they are getting a end-to-end product where we manage the advisory section of it, the consultancy, how do you onboard ESG, how do you implement it, that seamless integration of ESG into the very DNA of the company. How do you bring it to the grassroots level so that each department has ESG? And Oren comes with a very tactile data management system,
Yeah.
which gives them that flexibility. So it's not one size fit all. And we have some really good experience and feedback from the system. So again, I want you, both of you, to say how you see that fit happening, that perfect blend.
Yeah.
Because right now, if someone wants to set up a factory in UAE, they need to do an environmental impact assessment.
Yeah.
So we have partnered with companies, people who have been doing this for a very long time, people who are licensed to do it. So we connect those organizations. So what you get with HLB HAMT is essentially an end-to-end project manager.
Yeah.
So you do not need an entire team looking into this. It's sort of, order and forget kind of a system.
Yeah.
So we connect the environmental impact assessment people. They come do it for you, get the report, which is validated by the Dubai or Abu Dhabi municipality. So now after that, what happens is once you set up the factory, you need to get these ISO certifications. There are almost 19 ISO certifications which are associated with ESG.
Yeah.
So for them to reach out to vendors, 3 vendors, 4 vendors, get competing bids, we handle that for them as well.
Yeah.
So we sort of give them 2-3 options to pick and choose from. They can start it in a very organic manner, like the 5 most important ISO certifications. And all of them are, energy management system, your sustainability procurement system, all of those certifications we help with.
Yeah.
So this is a very, step-by-step process. But what we are doing is we're creating that whole ecosystem.
Right.
Again, the project management side of it, once the data is coming in, it'll be managed by a system from Oren. Once the data is in, we will be creating the report for them based on which standard they want to follow.
Yeah.
So it's that whole, trail of things which we have done to reach that stage where they're comfortable reporting,
Right.
where they're comfortable disclosing those numbers.
Hmm.
So I think there's a lot of foundational work which goes into it. And rather than have to deal with multiple companies, HLB HAMT sort of gives that perfect one-stop shop kind of a thing. So, Arush, I'll throw it to you. How does Oren fit into this ESG ecosystem that we are creating in the
Yeah. Jason, so you can't improve what you don't measure, right?
Exactly.
So at Oren, the technology forms the single source of truth of everything sustainability.
Correct.
Right? That we were just talking about the data element, right? We kind of just unearth essential data, bring it up, structure it in an ESG report that any of those 3 stakeholders could care about, right? But it doesn't end with that, right? Sustainability goals, once companies set them, you can track those in real time, even for the leadership. So we see that different stakeholders have different priorities that they're kind of tracking when it comes to sustainability as well, right? Not everyone's just focusing on emissions or etc., right? So each stakeholder can pick their priority and track it on the platform, right? I think in addition to that, companies, as they mature on their journey, and when they start including their suppliers into this mix, right? We talked a little bit about supply chain sustainability, but that's a whole that should be a whole podcast in and of itself,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
But it's a black box, right? Because again, just the data element is not enough. You need to engage your suppliers. You need to work with them to kind of, because they're a very key part of your sustainability journey, right? So same, right? So we handle the entire aspect of just when it comes to data from within the organization, across the supply chain, across all locations, bringing it centrally so that companies can view their data in real time and then kind of do that improvement as well.
Correct.
Right? And same. So how we, I think some work in calling out some work that we've kind of done together, right? Instead that your team then picks up, looks at that data and kind of indicates to the customers that, hey, it seems like we're doing good on this metric, but this one we might be falling short of. Is there some way we can improve it, right? We won't be able to meet our goal. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Arushi. It's great. I mean, obviously.
See, normally we used to see that the companies are struggling to keep the data mostly in the Excel, old age data kind of.
Wow, yeah.
Now everyone is doing into the different Excel sheets for their emissions, for their electricity kind of things or diesel things, and everything will be in different Excels. And most of the companies are facing very much into trouble for managing all those things. And one person, the HSE, normally all the companies I wherever I go, I see that HSE person is the responsibility with all these things. And whenever the various government officers ask for something, if it is ICB, something, ask immediately this person have to dig from these Excel sheets and all. Where this technology plays a vital role in it. And that's what Oren helps in HLBs, literally helping into that element of
Data
fixing that data management system.
Absolutely. So I think that is how it ties together. I think it goes hand in hand, sort of simpatico, I would say. And the whole vision for this ecosystem is, in fact, Mr. Vinod himself. He had the foresight, I would say, to think about it when not many people were thinking about it.
Yeah.
And obviously our leaders in HLB HAMT itself, we've got our partners. I think the whole track record of HLB HAMT being present in the country for 26 years.
26 years.
Since 99. Being part of that HLB International Network, which has been here for way longer than that.
As we mentioned, the visionary leaders of UAE, the same way we also have the visionary leaders in HLB HAMT.
Correct, yes.
Mr. John Verghese and Mr. Vijay Anand both started this organization way back, 26 years back. Now we added the senior partners along with them, JK, Mr. Sumesh and Mr. Manoj. The team is very, very, quite interesting team and very passionate team as well. So apart from that, as he started mentioning that HLB International thing, HLB International, and I got blessed with working with HLB International directly for the HLB Cares. There's a project called HLB Cares. What we do is we have presence in almost 150 plus countries. So what we do is we are equipping all the member firms into the ESG portfolio. So we are making them capable to do the ESG, adapting the ESG culture in their organization. So I got blessed to do share that particular thing as well. And HLB International is very keen into take their member firms, all the member firms in a proper way, and that's what we are blessed with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vinod sir, for that. And I think that sums up the whole importance of bringing in different skill sets onto the ESG forefront, because you cannot operate. It would be wrong and naive to admit that every one person can do everything in ESG.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. There's just way too many things going on. There's just so much going on in the ESG space that you need to bring in the right people for this, the right sort of subject matter experts. And I think if we could get one final takeaway to wrap this event up from Vinod sir, we will start.
With time gone very fast.
Time to go. Yes, absolutely.
Because we talk in same vibrant or the wavelength people talks, it will not appeal that the time goes.
Yes, absolutely.
And for me, the one word to say that to succeed in ESG, don't think what I can do, what can I impact.
That's very perfect summation of it. Thank you so much, Mr. Vinod. Arushi, if you had to give a final takeaway from this event.
Yeah, it might sound a little silly, but I mean, how we think about it is that execute sustainability sustainably, right? Do not do just everything, too many things on day one. Just slowly scale it up. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Arushi. For me personally, I would say that ESG needs to be integrated into the very grassroots of every organization. It should trickle down to the operational and functional end users as well. So they should be the ones driving it. That culture definitely comes from the top, but every person in the organization is a sustainability personnel.
Yeah.
There is no one just finance. They should all think of it in a way that we are all moving towards the collective target of achieving any particular ESG goal. So I think that is what ESG means to me, and wherever we have implemented it.
Perfect.
One more small thing to add, not to stick on with the E only, take the
Correct.
subject of S and G as well.
Absolutely.
The employees, the working force behind any organization have to be taken care of. Ethical business practices have to be there.
Correct.
Everything together, we can make a wonderful, responsible business culture.
Absolutely.
Wherever we go. Yeah.
Yes. So I think we have unpacked the fundamentals of ESG. It is impossible to speak about all of it.
Correct.
This is first of many series which is going to come out
Definitely
on the ESG topic itself. But I think we have had some really good insights from both the speakers, Mr. Vinod Nambiar and Arushi Dhaya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason, for taking us through the journey properly.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Jason, for being such a lovely host. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Yeah.
No worries. We should definitely do this soon again.
Definitely.
And thank you to our lovely audience. And please reach out to us with any questions, or you feel like we should cover some specific topic next time. We'll be happy to include that, and we'll be sending out our HLB HAMT surveys along with Oren as well. You can comment, and obviously, thank you again for joining us in today's ESG discourse. Cheers.